Welcome to our channel, Arena. Today we are going to discuss about 10 reasons for PC crash, as you can see in the title right here. If you want to know the prevention of these crashes, do not forget to leave a comment below saying #prevention. We might upload a video on preventing the crashes in our later videos. Okay, without further ado, let's begin. Okay, let's start. As you can see, the first one is the fatal error. The system has become unstable or is busy. It says enter to return to a Windows or press Ctrl+Alt+Delete to start your computer. If you do this, you will lose any unsaved information in all open applications. Okay guys, remember, if you type this Ctrl+Alt+Delete, you will have various options, and within that you will get a restart button. Just press it and you can restart your computer. Okay, you have just been struck by the blue screen of the death, as you can see right here, right, if you have just pressed the Ctrl+Delete button. Anyone who uses Microsoft Windows will be familiar with this. What can you do? More importantly, how can you prevent it happening? Okay, the first one is hardware conflict. What you should do when it is hardware conflict. What is hardware conflict? You should know what is hardware conflict if it's same. The number one reason why Windows crashes is hardware conflict. Each hardware device communicates to other devices through an interrupt request channel that is called IRQ. These are supposed to be unique for each device. For example, a printer usually connects internally an IRQ7, the keyboard usually uses IRQ1, and the floppy disk drives IRQ6. Each device will try to hog a single IRQ for itself, as you can see in the examples right I have given right here. If there are a lot of devices, or if they are not installed properly, two of them may end up sharing the same IRQ number. When the user tries to use both devices at the same time, a crash can happen. As you can see, if you want to run both of the devices at the same time, the Windows cannot differentiate between the IRQ numbers, and it gets overloaded by that fact, and it crashes. The way to check if your computer has a hardware conflict is through the following route. Okay, let's see. The start setting, control panel, system, device manager. Go to the start, then setting, then control panel, then from there go to the systems, then go to the device manager. Often if a device has a problem, a yellow exclamatory sign appears. You can see a black color exclamatory sign in a triangle, in a yellow triangle. You have frequently seen it if you have this kind of error. Okay, it appears next to its description in the device manager. Highlight computer in the device manager and press properties to see the IRQ numbers used by your computer. If the IRQ number appears twice, two devices may be using it. Okay, this is how you can know whether the two devices have the same IRQ or not. You can be further assured that it is a hardware conflict. Sometimes a device might share an IRQ with something described as IRQ holder for PCI steering. This can be ignored. You can ignore it completely. Okay, this is not a very big matter, so you can just ignore it. The best way to fix this problem is to remove the problem device and reinstall it. If you do it, I hope that your hardware conflict will be erased. Okay, then going on to the next topic. Sometimes you may have to find more recent drivers on the internet to make the device function properly. A good resource is www.driverguide.com. You can find this link down below in our descriptions. If the device is a sound card or a modem, okay, as you can see right here guys, if the device is a sound card or a modem, it can often be fixed by moving it to a different slot on the motherboard. You can just switch the slots in the motherboard. If you do this, there is a slight chance that the hardware conflict will be ended. But be careful about opening your computer, as you may void the warranty. So I would suggest you do not do it if your computer is still on the warranty period. If it has exceeded the warranty period, you can do it just fine. Okay, now going to the next topic. When working inside a computer, you should switch it off. Okay guys, remember to always switch it off and unplug the main lead, and touch an unpainted metal surface to discharge any static electricity, because you may get shocked. Okay, it is very harmful, and you should be cautious about it. To be fair to Microsoft, the problem with IRQ numbers is not of its making. It is a legacy problem going back to the first PC designs. Okay, it's not the current issue. It's going from the days when the computer was like ancient computer, like the vacuum tubes were running the computers. The conflict still remains. Okay, there is probably no permanent cure to it. You just have to remember, do not use the devices with same IRQ. It's you have to remember, guys. Okay, now going to the next. Now going to our second reason for the fatal error is the bad RAM. Okay, the bad RAM. We're going to discuss what is bad RAM. You might think we know about the slow RAMs, the low RAMs, the high RAMs. Now what is bad RAM? You might question yourself. Now, as you know, RAM stands for the random access memory. Okay, the RAM problems might bring on the blue screen of death with the message saying fatal exception error. Now you guys, you must be thinking why I am always saying the blue screen of death, because if it's showing, that means there is definitely a problem with your computer. So I am referring it to the blue screen of death. Anyways, it's completely my matter. You can just call it whatever you want to. Okay, if fatal error indicates a serious hardware problem, sometimes it may mean a part is damaged and will need replacing. You might need to replace your RAM if it shows it. But a fatal error caused by RAM might be caused by a mismatch of chips. Your RAM chips must be mismatched. There is a slight chance that it is mismatched. For example, mixing 70 nanosecond RAM with 60 nanosecond RAM will usually force the computer to run all the RAM at the slower speed. You just have to check it whether the bandwidth is same. This will often crash the machine if the RAM is overworked. If your RAM is about 60 nanoseconds power and it is fixed at the 70 nanosecond slot, it might cause your computer to show a fatal flaw. Okay, one way around this problem is to enter the BIOS settings and increase the wait state of the RAM. You can change the wait state of the RAM in the BIOS setting. Do it if you want to. It can prevent this error. This can make it more stable. Another way to troubleshoot a suspected RAM problem is to rearrange the RAM chips on the motherboard or take some of them out. You might want to take some of the RAM chips out because they might overheat or overwork your own computer. Then try to repeat the circumstances that caused the crash. Then handling RAM, try not to touch the gold connections as they can be easily damaged. Okay, now parity error messages also refer to RAM. Modern RAM chips are either parity, that is ECC, or non-parity, that is non-ECC. It is best to not mix the two types, as this can be cause of trouble. You might want to ask your manufacturer whether it is ECC or non-ECC. Do remember it, guys. If it's showing a bad RAM issue, do ask the store manager that you have bought the RAM from whether it's ECC or non-ECC. It might end your problem. Okay, now EMM386 error message refers to memory problems but may not be connected to bad RAMs. Now guys, there is this common sense that says that EMM386 error is actually connected with the RAM problem, but it might not the same case in your case. This may be due to the free memory problem often linked to old DOS based programs. Now remember, if it is an old DOS based program, there might be a free memory problem. That means your memory might not be free and this error is occurring. This is not the problem of the bad RAM. It is a problem of simply your RAM is low. Okay, going to the next topic. Now going to our next topic, it's about the BIOS settings. Now many of you know, if you have formatted your computer yourself, you know about the BIOS settings. You have to do a format or repair your computer through the BIOS settings. Now what is actually the BIOS settings and how do it cause the fatal error? Every motherboard is supplied with a range of chipset settings that are decided in the factory. Okay, while the motherboard is manufactured, it's already predefined how many chipsets you will have, the settings of the chipsets, and etc, etc. A common way to access these settings is to press the F2 or delete button during the first few seconds of a boot up. Okay, what is boot up? You might need to know what is boot up. Boot up is nothing. If you are only restarting your computer or maybe shutting on your computer from shutdown, you just need to press the F2 button while it's showing your motherboard screen, or delete button. It will redirect you to the BIOS settings. Once inside the BIOS, great care should be taken. Now remember guys, the BIOS is actually a motherboard settings. If you change it haphazardly, it will really cause damage to your own OS. Okay, your operating system may be damaged and your computer might not run very smoothly. So you need to take a great care in that BIOS settings. It is a good idea to write down on a piece of paper all the settings that appear on the screen. You might need to write down all the settings, guys. Do write it down so you can just use them as a default settings if anything goes haywire. That way, if you change something and the computer becomes more unstable, you will know the settings to revert it. Okay, a common BIOS error concerns the CAS latency. Now remember, the common BIOS error, you might have seen it in your computer if it's showing the fatal errors, the CAS latency. What is CAS latency? This actually refers to the RAM. Older EDO, that is extended data out RAM, has a CS latency of 3. Okay, the older EDO RAMs normally has 3 latencies, and the newer SD RAMs has a CS latency of 2. Setting this wrong figure can cause the RAM to lock up and freeze the computer's display. Now what does it mean? Okay, it's very easy to know what it means. It means actually the older, if you are using an older EDO RAM, you should press the CS latency as 3, and if you are going to use a SD RAM, do set the CS latency as 2. If you do it, if you interchange them, your computer will show a fatal flaw. Microsoft Windows is better at allocating IRQ numbers than any BIOS. If possible, set the IRQ number to auto in the BIOS. This will allow Windows to allocate the IRQ numbers. Make sure the BIOS settings for plug and play OS is switched to yes to allow the Windows to do this. To allow the Windows to automatically override or maybe do many things in your BIOS or updating your BIOS, do remember to press it yes. It's actually very good for your computer. Now going to okay, now it's about time to discuss about the fourth flaw, that is the hard disk drives. Yes guys, the HDD flaws. After a few weeks, the information on a HDD, that is hard disk drive, I'm going to consider HDD as hard disk drive, so remember it. I'm not going to say hard disk drive, it takes too much time to call it, so I'm going to say HDD. It actually takes the information, it actually takes some time or some few weeks to get the information. HDD starts to become piecemeal or fragmented. It is good idea to defragment the hard disk even every week or so to prevent disk from causing a screen freeze. Okay, now remember guys, if you don't want your computer to go to a screen freeze, do remember to defragment your HDD every week. Now what is defragmentation? What is fragmentation? That is actually, what is defragmentation? What is discuss about what is defragmentation and what is fragmentation. Defragmentation is actually, it basically means that some file in your HDD has been spread throughout your whole HDD in some fragments in each drives. Now if you want to prevent the cause of extra memory use of a HDD, do remember to fragment it, defragment it. If you defragment it, all the just junk files that have been spread to your computer will be saved into a contiguous, okay, sorry for my mispronunciation, is actually a contiguous address. Okay, now let's see how you can prevent it from, or how can you defragment your HDD. Now for it, go to the start, from there go to the programs, go to the accessories, from there go to the system tools, select the disk defragmenter, and it will be defragmented. Okay, this will start the procedure. You will be unable to write data to the hard drive HDD to save it while the disk is defragmenting. Just leave your computer while it's defragmenting, because you cannot write anything in a HDD in that time. So it is a good idea to schedule the procedure of on any period of time in activity using this task scheduler. You can just schedule the task in your task scheduler, so it will auto start the task when you are not using a computer. Because if you have started the disk fragmenter, it will not let you overwrite or write anything in your HDD. The task scheduler should be one of the small icons on the bottom right of this Windows opening page, the desktop. Some lockups and screen freezes caused by hard disk problems can be solved by reducing the read head optimization. This can be adjusted by going to Start, then Settings, then Control Panel, then System icon, then Performance, then File System, after then the hard disk. Hard disk will slow down and crash if they are too full. Do some housekeeping on your HDD every few months and free some space on it. Do not let your HDD get full up. Open the Windows folder on the C drive and find the temporary internet files folders, deleting the contents. So just do not delete the folder. Can free a lot of space. Empty the recycle bin every week to free more spaces. Hard disk drive should be canned every week for errors or bad sectors. For that, go to Start, then Program, then Accessories, then System Tools, then Scan Disk. Otherwise, assign the task scheduler to perform this operation at night when the computer is not in use. Okay, now let's jump to the fifth problem. Okay, as shown here, the fifth problem is actually the fatal OE exceptions and VXT errors. Now, what are those? I'm going to discuss about them. Fatal OE exception errors and VXT errors are often caused by video card problems. Now, if you have a graphics card or a video card, they might show this problem or error. This can often be resolved easily by reducing the resolution of the video display. Now, guys, remember, you have to decrease your resolution. Now, if you do not want to compromise with it, just throw that box out of your house. Throw your computer out and buy a great computer. Maybe an Alienware computer if you want to play that kind of resolution video plays. Yes, guys, I'm recommending Alienware. I'm myself using that Alienware laptop, so I'm going to recommend it to you. Do remember to use it. Okay, now if you are using a box type computer where you cannot see any videos without the graphics card and they are showing these kind of errors, go to the Start, then go to the Settings, then go to the Control Panel, after then go to the Display, then go to the Settings. Here you should slide the screen area bar to the left. Take a look at the color settings on the left to that window. For most desktop, high color 16-bit depth is adequate. Now, those idiots who are using these kind of box computers, do remember this. But those who are using actually high graphical computers, high features, they might not show this error. So it's actually insignificant error. But I'm still saying for those idiots that are using low graphics computers. Now, going on, if the screen freezes or you experience system lockups, it might be due to the video card. Make sure it does not have a hardware conflict. Now, idiots, remember, if you're showing this, you are really using a backward computer. Now, guys, remember, just throw the computer away. Just throw your computer away. If it's showing an error because of your data card, it's actually a real problem. Because if you are using a high graphics card in your low resolution or your low spec computer, it might show this error very frequently. Now, for these problems, go to the Start, then go to the Settings, then go to the Control Panels, then System, and then Device Manager. Here, select the plus beside the display adapter. The plus button, just press it. A line of text describing your video card should appear. Select it, make it blue, and press Properties. Then select Resources and select each line in the window. Look for a message that says no conflicts. Okay, guys, there will be no conflicts if we just throw that box out. Throw the CPU out of them. Throw the logo as low spec computer, and there will be no conflicts. I take guarantee. Okay, anyways, if you have video card hardware conflict, you will see it here. Be careful at this point and make a note of everything you can do in case you make things worse. This way to resolve a hardware conflict is to uncheck the Use Automatic Settings box and hit the Change Setting button. You are searching for a settings that will display a no conflict message. Another useful way to resolve video problems is to just throw your computer out and screw your computer your low specs. Just buy a great specs computer and use it. Just kidding, guys. Okay, let's go to the Start, then Settings, then Control Panel, then System, then Performance, then Graphics. Here you should move the hardware acceleration slider to the left as ever. The most common cause of problems relating the graphics card is old or faulty drivers. A driver is a small piece of software used by a computer or to communicate with the device. Look up your video card's manufacturer on the internet and search for the most recent drivers for it. Okay, let's leave this idiotic reason behind and go to the next reason. Okay, let's see the next reason. The next reason is viruses. What the hell, man? The viruses? I mean, guys, you do have the antivirus, right? Do remember to upload a antivirus, maybe Quickkill, Kaspersky. It's up to you, whatever you like. Just install antivirus, and it might not let your computer be crashed because of viruses. Okay, now what is viruses? Often the first sign of a virus infection is instability. Guys, it's not a organism, it's a machine. So it's not like it's going to infect it by a virus. It's more like the virus is going to spread out throughout your computer and make it a zombie computer. So that it crashes many times. You're just kidding. It's actually my own opinion. Some viruses erase and boot the sector of a hard drive. Just like the zombie viruses erase your brain. It erases this hard drive, making it impossible to start, just like it makes you impossible to recognize your own people. Okay, now going to the next option. This is why it is good. This is a good idea to create a Windows startup disk. Now remember to always make a Windows startup disk to prevent your Windows from getting crashed frequently. For that, go to Start. Then from that, go to Settings. As you can see, go in the settings, the control panel. From the control panel, choose the Add or Remove Programs option. Here, look for the Startup Disk tab. Virus protection requires constant vigilance. Now remember, if you have an antivirus, it will constantly vigilate your own computer. So idiots who do not have antivirus in their computers, do get this antivirus. Okay, so you do not have to work this much, and this error might not even cause a problem to you. A virus scanner requires a list of virus signatures in order to be able to identify viruses. Okay, guys, you don't need to remember these shits. Just install an antivirus. Okay, for antiviruses, I will be leaving many antivirus links down below. You can just download those antivirus from there. As you can see, an excellent antivirus program is McAfee. I myself am using McAfee. They give a lot of ads, but still they would do their work. It actually scans my network associates like rural.nai.com and other to Norton Antiviruses 2000 made by rural.systemic.com. A virus scanner requires a list of virus signatures, as I have already said, in order to be able to identify virus. These signatures are stored in a DAT file. Now idiots do not go to fuck with that file. Okay, you cannot do anything with that file because you're not a programmer. Because if you are a programmer, there wouldn't be any crashes in your computer. So it actually goes to the DAT files. The DAT files should be updated weekly from the websites of your antivirus software manufacturer. So do not pirate these antiviruses. Do buy a genuine antivirus, not the trial versions. Okay, this is my own suggestion to you. Just buy a genuine antivirus, and this cause can be prevented very easily. Okay, now let's go to the next reason. The seventh option is actually the printers. Now you might be thinking, how can printer cause a computer crash? I will explain it to you. The action of sending a document to print creates a bigger file, often called a PostScript file. Now remember guys, if you are going to send a file to get printed, if you are saying that it is only 1 or 2 MB size or maybe something KB size, do not get fooled that it will be going to the printer with that size. It will be doubled or maybe tripled. It will get a bigger size while going to the printer. A temporary file will be created, and that is called the PostScript file. Printers have only a small amount of memory called a buffer. It actually has a buffer memory of a small amount. This can be easily overloaded. If it's a file that is very exaggeratedly got bigger, the printer might not be able to handle it because it has a very small memory, and it might get overloaded. Printing a document also uses a considerable amount of CPU power. If your CPU is not very good, as I have said already, if you have a low spec computer, throw it out. This will also slow down the computer's performance. If the printer is trying to print unusual characters, these might not be recognized and can crash the computer. Okay, now if unrecognizable characters are going to be printed by the printer and it is not programmed to print those, it might cause your computer to crash. Sometimes printers will not recover from a crash because of confusion in the buffer. A good way to clear the buffer is to unplug the printer for 10 seconds. Booting up from a powerless state, also called a cold boot, will restore the printer's default settings, and you may be able to carry on. Okay guys, let's carry on with our own problems. Our next problem is the softwares. Now there are many softwares out there that can cause your PC to crash. It is very logical and it is very common nowadays. A common cause of computers crash is faulty or badly installed softwares. If some error has been occurred while installing the software, it might cause your computer to be crashed. Often the problem can be cured by uninstalling the software and then reinstalling it. That's actually a very good way to do it. Use Norton Uninstall or Norton Shield to remove an application from your system properly. if you do not know how to download the not on uninstall or uninstall shield, you will be getting them in the link below. Okay, now this will also remove reference to the program in the system registry and leaves the way clear for a computer fresh copy. The system registry can be corrupted by old references to obsolete softwares that you thought was uninstalled. Use REG Cleaner by Johnny for you to clean up the system registry. You can also find the download link in the description down below, and remove obsolete concentrates. It works on the Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 98. What the hell, guys? Who uses this kind of Windows, guys? It's really epic. This is actually really very Stone Age time Windows. Do not use them. They are very old. Do not use them. Windows Millennium Edition, Windows 1000. What the? Anyways, if you are a Windows 7 or Windows 8 users, you might not face this problem, but there are slight chances, so you might need to consider the descriptions down below. Read the instructions and use it carefully so you don't do permanent damage to the registry. If the registry is damaged, you will have to reinstall your operating system. REG Cleaner can be obtained from www.jva16.org. Often a Windows problem can be resolved by entering safe mode. This can be done during startup. When you see the message starting Windows, press F4. This should take you into safe mode. Safe mode loads a minimum of drivers. It allows you to find and fix problems that prevents Windows from loading properly. Sometimes installing Windows is difficult because of unsuitable the BIOS settings. If you keep getting SUWIN error messages while your Windows is getting set up during the Windows installation, then try entering the BIOS and disabling the CPU internal cache. Try to disable the level 2, that is called the L2 cache. If that doesn't work, remember to restore all the BIOS settings back to their former settings following installations. Thank you for what it says. Thank you for keeping up with me, guys. Let's go to the next problem. The last but not the least problem is the overheating. It's actually a very common problem. Central processing units, that is the CPUs, are usually equipped with fans to keep them cool. You can always see the fans at the back of the CPU or maybe at the side, wherever the ventilation is coming in. If the fan fails or if the CPU gets old, it may start to overheat and generate a particular kind of error called the kernel error. Now, it's an error that always occurs in the old computers with old fans. It even occurs in the Android phones. The kernel error actually means that your device is actually overheating. If your device gets overheated, it shows this. This is a common problem in chips that have been overclocked to operate the higher speeds than they are supposed to. One remedy is to get a bigger better fan and install it on the top of the CPU specialist cooling fans. Or heat sinks are available from www.computernerd.com or www.coolit.com. CPU problems can often be fixed by disabling the CPU internal cache in the BIOS, just we have discussed in the previous problem. This will make the machine run more slowly, but it should also be more stable. Okay guys, let's go to our last problem. Our last and the 10th problem is the power supply problems. Now the power supply problem can also make your computer crash. With all the new construction going on around the country and steady supply of electricity has become disturbed. Okay, now it is actually true for some countries, like in India, like in our countries, it is a very fatal issue. But if you are in better countries or many big countries like America or maybe Australia, you might not face this problem. But it also causes the system errors. A power surge or spike can crash a computer as easily as a power cut. Now, very easy way to prevent it from going to this crash is buying a UPS. That is the uninterrupted power supply. If you buy a UPS, it will take all those interruptions in itself, and it will take the load of the electricity to save your own CPU, and your computer will be very much safe from these problems. So if you are facing these kind of problems, do buy a UPS. It is a good investment if your data are critical, because power cut will cause any unsafe data to be lost. Thank you for bearing up with me till here. Thank you for watching my videos. Okay. Thank you for watching up till now. For helpful links, refer to the description down below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, leave a comment, and give a thumbs up. Okay, we will meet you in our next video. Stay